Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 3rd. We're going to jump right in here. You have this Gemini card. It says, speak your truth. Choose your words wisely. Remember that words have consequences. And then you have this Cancer card. It says, nurture all that you love. Take time to care for your well-being and nurture the things that you love, which it is a great time for nurturing energy, especially Jupiter in your sign, Cancer. Anything you nurture will grow. And I would definitely be taking care of the things or, doing more of the things that you want to grow in your life. And I think just putting your, heart into things is obviously the best way to do that. I think I've been talking about this for years. We're in a heart-based time. You have this passion card coming up as well. And what I was gonna say is we have to put passion into the things that we're working on. Whatever it is, even if it's work, business, but it could also be a relationship. It could be something personal, like a personal project or your health. The more passionate you can be, the better. In your current general energies, you start with the Justice card, the King of Wands, and the Four Swords. Justice is like cause and effect or balance, and yeah, I feel like some of you are trying to bring balance to something. I also see like a magnet in my head. Like I feel like something is like, you try to put the two ends of a magnet together and they repel each other. It's almost like there's like something, I don't know, this is a weird freaking message here, Cancer, but it's like I feel like there's something that you're trying to get together. And that sounds stupid as I said it. That's why I was laughing. It's like you're trying to bring these two ends together, but they're pushing each other away right now. Now, is this a bad thing? No, I think you could flip the magnet. I think you could flip the poles of the magnet, whatever this is. And, it's almost like, I don't necessarily think this is love, Cancer, but I'm just going to use that as an example, so bear with me. But it's like, it's like two people, if it is love, it's like two people who have different communication styles, and it's like, if you could just figure out the right communication style, I feel things would go really well. You would probably be like a magnet. You would stick together. But it's like right now, something is being pushed away. I feel like this could be work for a lot of you. You have the Eight of Pentacles here. It's like some of you are trying to figure out how to do something. But it's like what I would be, just, this is not intuitive. I'm just spitballing here, Cancer. If I were you, I would like avoid thinking that you have to do things a certain way. Sometimes I think that can create that repelling force. It's like if we think that we have to like force ourselves, like if we want to start a project or want to work on something, if we think that it has to go a certain way, but we don't like that, then, obviously we're going to have a hard time. It's almost like this card is saying you need to do things in your own Cancer way. And I don't know. I hope that makes sense. You have the King of Wands. Yeah, King of Wands about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. I think all year you've been getting cards like this that say it's time for Cancer to be more bold, assertive, confident, really go for what they want. And, it's kind of like just that. It almost gives me a little bit of that rip the Band-Aid off energy. If you've been thinking about doing something and you haven't been, I feel like the easiest solution would be to just do it, rip the Band-Aid off, right? You have the Four Swords. Four Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. Of course, we're coming up on a retrograde, Mercury retrograde on the 9th of November. So it is a great time to, if you need a break, take a break. If you need to rest, take a rest and, just kind of do that. I do feel like a lot of you are kind of like hoping and praying for blessings or hoping and praying to create something. We go up here to the Eight of Pentacles, to the Five of Swords. This right here would kind of be like taking the risk of putting the work in. The Five of Swords can sometimes be a risk. Sometimes I think the Five of Swords can be the fear of making a change as well. And so, just putting this all together, Cancer, it looks to me like there's something you're wishing for, but you might also be kind of like afraid of what will happen if you follow through, Or like you might be fearing just a little bit how your life will change if you follow through on something. Let's see. With the Justice card, you have the Strength card. Yeah, the Strength card is your inner strength. I would be careful of like assumptions this week. It is popping into my head here, Cancer. That's not what this card means, but I was kind of saying like don't think that things have to go a certain way, or don't think you have to force yourself to do things a certain way. And the Strength card is your inner voice. I'm wondering I kind of feel a little bit of assuming energy here. Like, again, this is your inner voice. So, like, let's say you're working on a project. If you're assuming that you have to do things a certain way, that might be your inner voice is telling you you have to do things a certain way. Like, I feel like that's what needs to be conquered in this reading is just what your brain is telling you. That's like the best way I could put it. With the King of Wands, you have the Emperor. Sure, we have the Emperor twice here. Some of you could be attracting an Emperor type person. That could be the whole magnet thing that we're talking about. If you are interested in a person, which you might be here, Cancer, and it could totally be you doing the spine. Yes, I'm calling you out here with the Page of Swords. It's like you might be maybe, you're attracted to a person who's like really outgoing or, really bold and assertive, and maybe you're the opposite, but again, I feel like the problem here is whatever your brain is telling you. So, I don't know. We'll see what comes up in the rest of the reading. With the Four of Swords, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Big opportunity in front of you here for you to work on something that will be very successful, probably. Ace of Pentacles is a very wealthy opportunity, or an opportunity that could increase your abundance. The Eight of Pentacles is just like straightforward, diligent work. It's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure in the November monthly readings that I just did, the water signs readings said that water signs should just be focused on straightforward, diligent work, like the Eight of Pentacles, and, not overcomplicating things or not coming up with like too much complication, especially if you're working on a new project. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this main male. It says the querent, if male, an important man in the reading, husband, partner, boyfriend. You have this child. It says fresh start, new beginning, fate, new beginnings, phase, newness, childish, pregnancy, naive, children, inner child, childhood. Too many words on that card. So you are Cancer. You are the inner child. So a lot of you, maybe you need to embrace that more playful, curious energy of the Page of Swords at the end. The Page of Swords is kind of like a child as well, so that could be good. You have the Three of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Again, this is coming up in the area of what's coming in for you. Three of Cups is like a celebration, happiness, fun. These three people are celebrating the harvest that's going on around them. So with the Eight of Pentacles, you could be creating a harvest, or it's like whatever you're working on right now could be creating a harvest for you, or kind of like improving your finances, and I feel that doing that would be a good idea. I kind of feel like something needs more of an investment of time as well. Didn't I say this to you recently? I don't know. Maybe. It's like I feel that Cancer needs to realize like something you could be working on now might like really pay off in the future. And it's like maybe it's not paying off right now. And that just is popping into my head as like a little bit of a challenge. Not like a big deal, but definitely something to think about. And, I feel that some of you need to kind of be willing to invest the time, the effort, the energy into getting something to work. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, Eight of Pentacles is like having a single focus. He is just working on these 8 pentacles in front of him. That's it. He's almost done. He only has one more pentacle to complete, and then he will get a result for the work that he's done. He's also putting his work on display, and so I do feel it is time for Cancers to show off. I mean, even if we pretend that the King of Wands and the Emperor is not a person in your reading, I mean, it could be a person, it could be you, is where I'm going with that. It's encouraging you to be confident enough to show off, to put your work out into the world. And I think it could be a good time for you to do that. I do feel you are definitely probably doing things to improve your finances. November was a little bit surprising for me, the monthly readings that I did, because it did seem to be a good month financially. So I don't know. I just didn't expect that. I kind of thought, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I still think the end of the year, the beginning of next year, could be like a little bit of a mess financially. Now, but maybe that's more of like a global financial mess, not so much on a personal level. If we're paying attention, we will probably be fine. And, I would just focus on what you can do with this card. You have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving forward towards something. I feel like it's like your guides are trying to move you forward here, is more the feeling I get. This guy in the back of the boat, he is meant to be a guide. He goes back and forth between the choppy waters. The Six of Swords, there is kind of a way to read the Six of Swords that he might be a little stuck in the mud. He's using that stick to, push the boat forward, but at this position on the card, that stick might be like a little bit stuck. And I feel that intuitively for you, Cancer, where it's like I feel like the universe is like giving you signs and symbols. It's like the universe is like, what do I have to spell it out for you, Cancer? What do I have to like, literally send you a person that tells you what to do, or are you going to figure this out on your own? And so I don't know, like I get this feeling that you need to, like, your dreams are telling you something, your daydreams, your intuitive thoughts are telling you things, but like I'm not calling you out on in this part of the reading. I am gonna call your ass out on that Page of Swords. Don't worry. But but I do feel that you need to like listen to your intuition more, or not doubt it, or not question it, or especially your dreams. You might like have a dream about something, and you might be like, oh, that was just a dream. That wasn't real, but it was, or it is. And I feel like your guides are kind of being like, let's go. With the Three of Cups, you have the Fool. The Fool is about taking leap of faith. Definitely, I feel like it's a good time for you to not try to fit in, right? The Fool has to take the risk of looking like a fool. That's the whole point of the card, is that, people in his life, and we have the Three Cups, which is your community, people in his life might be calling him a fool for jumping off of this cliff. And that's kind of like what I feel for you here, Cancer, is like some of you might be worried about what people are thinking, about what you're doing, or about the choices you make, but I kind of feel like that needs to be eliminated from your life, or you just don't even listen. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have like three cards. I don't know. I feel like I should take all three, so why not? Sorry, I can't hold all these at once. But you have the Ten of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Knight of Wands with that Eight of Pentacles. Ten of Swords says something in the past is like dead, done, over with. Putting these three together, it's like, I always say sometimes the King of Swords, I think, can be the curse of knowledge. He knows too much. The Knight of Wands is kind of like the opposite, right? The Knight of Wands, he's more happy-go-lucky. He's willing to explore things that he thinks he knows, but he's willing to build as he goes along. I almost feel like this is saying it would be better for you to be in that Knight of Wands energy. Even if you're doing something with your life right now that you've done before, and it could be anything. It could be like dating, or, building a business, or whatever you're doing. The Knight of Wands, again, he just is willing to be spontaneous. He's willing to just go on the adventure and see how things go. And so I would. Let's see. With the Six of Swords, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles, like gratitude, luxuries. Nine of Pentacles is heaven on earth. She doesn't have heaven on earth. She is creating the energy of heaven on earth around her, which is exactly what we should be doing with the Nine of Pentacles. We should be getting in the energy of what we want. But this is a little bit different than the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, for example, he has to be in the energy of what he wants. She is creating 3D energy. She is surrounding herself with things that make her feel like she has heaven on earth, even if she doesn't. She does it as much as she possibly can. She would create a vision board, right? And have pictures of the things she wants around her so that she can be in that energy physically, right? And she also would like clean her house or her apartment and make sure that she has a nice environment. And so I feel that for you this week, that making sure that you're creating a nice environment around you would be a really good idea with this card. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this 10th house card. It says authority. We see a ton of authority in this reading. King of Wands, Emperor twice. You have this 5th house. It says passion on it. Yes, I feel some of you could be becoming an authority, like based off of a passion that you have. Jupiter in your sign. That is absolutely what can happen with Jupiter in Cancer, is that you could be like nurturing some sort of passion that becomes a business, or nurturing a passion that becomes like a side hustle or something like that. So it's a great time for that. I think it's a great time for you to just become an authority, or just claim that you are an authority on something and see what happens. Cancer, make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. You have the 5 of Swords, the Emperor, and the Fool. The 5 of Swords, I feel, is talking about you taking a risk. 4 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. I feel like the reading is going in that direction. And this would be like the risk of putting effort into being different. He's walking away from those two people on the battlefield here. This is a card of like winning at all costs, but I kind of feel good about this for you, Cancer. It's like, yeah, maybe you're having to walk away from things and it could be a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, I feel this could be leading to a win in your life by like setting yourself apart or being unique or doing something different. And that's what I would do. You have the Emperor. Again, the Emperor is about being an authority figure or taking the lead or taking authority over something. And like that authority card says, I feel it would be you might have the opportunity to be an authority. He has his armor on underneath his cloak, and he is just sitting on this throne. It kind of says that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. He's ready to take advantage of an opportunity when it presents itself, but he's not like forcing himself to do things in the meantime. And so I feel for a lot of you, you need to prepare for an opportunity to like become an authority or to again work on a passion project or something you're passionate about. I do also feel, like I said earlier, that you could be attracting an Emperor. You have the Fool again. Yeah, it's like you're gonna have to take a leap of faith here. Rip all this stuff, ripping the Band-Aid off message. Six of Swords, like let's go. The Fool. It's like he's on the edge. Yeah, I feel like you're on the edge of something here, Cancer. And it's like the only thing left to do is leap, right? And I really have nothing else to add to this because I just feel like that's your next step. If it helps at all. He is over prepared for his journey. He has this tiny little sack on his back. He's about to go through the entire major arcana. Like, if you're not feeling confident right now or whatever, you need to know that you have everything you need right here, right between your two ears. So, I don't know if that helps or not, or if that gives you any more confidence, but it should. With the Five of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands. Yes. So we have the King and Queen of Wands. Definitely could be a very passionate connection for those of you that want love. The Queen of Wands, she moves towards her happiness. She has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun, and so she just moves towards, her joy, things that make her feel happy. She also doesn't care what people think, like we said earlier. She has this black cat right here, and during the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky, but the whole point of the card is that she doesn't care what anyone thinks. She just wants the black cat. So I do feel it is definitely a time for you to not care what anyone thinks about what you're doing here, Cancer. With the Emperor, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. Of course, with the Five of Wands, we should be facing competition. We should be learning from the competition. You could be attracting a person that there is a lot of competition for, but who knows? Maybe, again, it looks to me like you're the winner here, Cancer. Maybe that's why you're thinking too much, for those of you that want love. If you are spying on a person here, yes, I'm calling you out, then I would say that, I don't know, you could be the one that wins. So I would face the competition. With the Fool, you have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, here's the thing. I think this is good because she is seeing things clearly for the first time. She's looking forward into the future, but she's looking at the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is progress in the area of the good stuff where he's showing up, but he's a little bit slow moving. Like, is this bad? No, I don't think this is bad for you, Cancer, but I just think you could take bigger steps, towards a goal or whatever. Like I said, is it really that big of a deal? No. But if you're working on a new project, new business, it's like you probably could progress even faster, again, if you took bigger steps, which I think I said to you in your November reading. And so, again, like I said, do you have to? No, I don't think you have to, but I would. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this internal conflict. This war card says internal conflict, emotional regulation. You have this running late. It says urgency, overwhelmed, and striving. Yes, it's coming up in the good stuff, so I feel like you will be fine. But, there is a little bit of time going on right now because we have Saturn retrograding in Pisces, of course. And so I think Saturn retrograde in Pisces is creating the pressures of time. Like, people could feel like they're running out of time to get something they want or to manifest something they want. And so some of you could be just feeling that pressure of time. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. He's looking at those 7 pentacles and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is it worth it for me to invest my time, effort, and energy in those 7 pentacles or not? Again, I think with the astrology that we're experiencing right now, pretty much everyone is asking this question. Or, again, with the pressures of time with Saturn, I think people could be seeing where they're wasting time. I feel like people are seeing where they want to put more of their time, and all the other things that you could possibly imagine there. So, again, I think this is just a very common energy. But there could be, it does look to me like there is a positive change in your finances. Again, 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. If you're working on something new, or if you're changing your work, this could be very good. You have the Page of Swords. Again, this could be you spying on a person. So I don't know, Cancer. If you have your eye on a person, I would just say go for it. The Page of Swords is a really good card for curiosity. And so if you're curious or interested in anything, really, Mercury retrograde this entire month, right? So, it starts on the 9th, but we're in the shadow right now. So if you're interested in anything, Mercury retrograde is really good for research, looking into things, getting to the bottom of things, kind of like looking for answers and seeing if something would be worth it or not with the 7 of Pentacles, right? It's like, you maybe, and also the Judgment card, or Justice, sorry. The Justice card is like weighing your options, and it is cause and effect. It could be, this could be you looking into something you want to work on, and, maybe you're not necessarily getting started this month, but you could be really studying it and figuring out if it's going to be worth your time, effort, attention, energy, whatever. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is progress. So especially in the good stuff, it can absolutely say that you are making progress at this time. Maybe slowly but surely, but you are making progress. Like I said, I would challenge you to make those bigger leaps. It doesn't even have to be a leap. I think it's just like a bigger step, It's like whatever, if you're working on anything, can you, like, I think even like 10% extra effort than what you would normally do might make all the difference in the world. Like I said earlier, do you have to? No, probably not. But I don't think this is a requirement. I just think you can. It's like, if you can, you might as well. And, that's kind of the message I'm getting on the Knight of Pentacles. It's like, it's almost like the universe is saying, you could put in 20% more effort. You have it in you. And I believe in you, Cancer, so you might as well. With the 7 of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. Again, so, we have the King and Queen of Wands here. It's funny that we have like the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles. I was talking about the whole magnet thing that I feel over here, where it's like right now, something feels to me like it's 2 things that are trying to come together that aren't coming together, And they need to like flip around, or one side needs to flip around so that this can be, so that this can turn into a magnet, or 2 things that are magnetically stuck together. It's like the 5 of Swords would be taking a risk. The 7 of Pentacles is, is the juice worth the squeeze? It's like, I don't know, maybe both of these people have an issue, you and this person. I'm going to call you both out. It's like, maybe one person has to take a risk. Maybe the other person is trying to figure out if they want to invest in a connection in the first place. I don't know. I don't really have a solution. Well, I don't know. Page of Swords, maybe you just need to marry the person, right? Maybe you just need to be like, hey, let's get married. I don't know. It could work. Crazier things have happened, Cancer. So the 4 of Wands is marriage, but the 4 of Wands also a card of freedom. And with the 10 of Swords here and some of the other stuff, and also what we were saying on the 6 of Swords about being a little bit stuck in the mud, that the 4 of Wands can encourage you to do something to set yourself free. So it might be time. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, work hard, play hard. Again, this is kind of just general busy energy in the area of the good stuff. So you might find that you are very busy at the end of the year here, or that you're needing to put in more work or whatever. You have this Vine card that says, seek out information that will help you. Can't make that up. We were talking about that on the Page of Swords. I think that anything you're trying to do, this Mercury retrograde could be really good for research, looking into things, getting to the bottom of things. I would take the time to do it. Can't make this one up either. I think you always get this card with me. You have this Lion card that says, time to act. Clearly. Rip the Band-Aid off, take the leap of faith, all that stuff. So it's clearly time for action. King of Wands twice. Whatever you're working on, I would really, put in that extra effort. You have this pin. It says new job or career. Yeah, definitely a lot of good work stuff here. If you're looking for a new job, this could be good. If you're hoping for a raise or a promotion, this could also be good based off this reading. You have this tent. It says temporary situation. Some of you could be looking to move or hoping to move, and I feel like you will. Finally, you have this horseshoe. It says good luck on it. So their luck is on your side here, Cancer, and I think you need to realize that. It's like if you knew you were going to be lucky, you probably would take bigger chances, or make bigger steps with that Knight of Pentacles. And, maybe that's what you need to start telling yourself is that you are lucky or that luck is on your side because maybe that would make you kind of, make more progress. But this looks pretty good here, Cancer. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.